We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel.
Hours behind closed doors, and a plan is born to liberate Gaza by tearing it apart. Netanyahu calls it security. His generals call it a black hole. 1 million lives hang in the balance. Is this strategy, or just another chapter in a war with no plan? Israel's Security Cabinet has approved Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to take control of Gaza City, marking a significant escalation in the nearly 2-year conflict. The decision came after more than 10 hours of heated consultations, revealing deep fractures within Israel's political and military establishment. The Israeli Prime Minister's office released a statement confirming the approval.
The Security Cabinet has approved the Prime Minister's proposal for defeating Hamas. The IDF will prepare for taking control of Gaza City while distributing humanitarian assistance to the civilian population outside the combat zones.
The plan faces strong opposition from Israel's military leadership. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir reportedly warned during the cabinet meeting that occupying Gaza would drag Israel into what he called a black hole of prolonged insurgency and humanitarian responsibility. Israeli officials told Axios that Zamir argued such an operation would endanger the remaining hostages and could lead to Israeli military rule over 2 million Palestinians. The Washington Post reported that a former high-ranking Israeli official and reservist expressed frustration with the lack of strategic clarity, stating,
"This is what happens when you don't have a strategy."
The official, who has served more than 420 days over the past 22 months of war, noted that his Special Forces unit was expecting to be released from duty, suggesting the army had not received orders to recruit additional troops as of Thursday afternoon. Despite the military's reservations, Netanyahu's office emphasized that
a decisive majority of Security Cabinet ministers believed that the alternative plan that had been submitted to the Security Cabinet would neither achieve the defeat of Hamas nor the return of the hostages.
The Prime Minister's office outlined 5 principles for ending the war.
1. The disarming of Hamas. 2. The return of all the hostages, the living and the deceased. 3. The demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. 4. Israeli security control in the Gaza Strip. 5. The establishment of an alternative civil administration that is neither Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority.
Meanwhile, Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid blasted the Security Cabinet's decision as a disaster.
In complete contradiction to the opinion of the military and security ranks, without considering the erosion and exhaustion of the fighting forces, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich dragged Netanyahu into a move that will take months, lead to the death of the hostages, the killing of many soldiers, cost tens of billions to the Israeli taxpayer, and lead to a political collapse. This is exactly what Hamas wanted, for Israel to be trapped in the field without a goal, without defining the picture of the day after, in a useless occupation that no one understands where it is leading.
Interestingly, ultra-nationalist ministers Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich voted against the decision, though for different reasons. Ben-Gvir opposed any delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza civilians, while Smotrich demanded the operation continue without pause, even for hostage negotiations. Hours before the cabinet meeting, Netanyahu outlined his broader vision in a Fox News interview with Bill Hemmer. When asked directly if Israel would take control of the entire 26-mile Gaza Strip, Netanyahu responded,
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas. And you were in the Gaza Strip today. You met Palestinians who are fighting Hamas because finally they see that they have a future. They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
When asked if Israel would take over the entire coastal territory, Netanyahu replied,
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life.
When Hemmer pressed about President Trump's position on the plan, Netanyahu declined to give specifics, responding,
He just says, I know Israel will do what it has to do. We haven't gotten to that kind of discussion.
US officials confirmed to reporters that Trump has decided not to intervene and let the Israeli government make its own decisions regarding Gaza operations. According to Axios, a senior Israeli official revealed the operational details.
The goal is to evacuate all Palestinian civilians from Gaza City to the central camps and other areas by October 7th. A siege will be imposed on the Hamas militants who remain in Gaza City, and at the same time, a ground offensive will be carried out in Gaza City.
The operation would require displacing approximately 1 million Palestinians currently residing in Gaza City and its surroundings. The announcement triggered immediate international backlash and strong Palestinian resistance. Hamas issued a statement calling Netanyahu's comments a blatant coup against the negotiation process, declaring,
Netanyahu's plans to expand the aggression confirm beyond any doubt that he seeks to get rid of his captives and sacrifice them.
Hamas leader Osama Hamdan told Tasnim news agency that the group would treat any governing force formed under Netanyahu's proposal as an occupying force. In his August 7th evening statement, Hamdan declared,
We will treat any force formed according to Netanyahu's statements as an occupying force linked to Israel. Resistance is the only way out of the occupation, and this situation will only end when an independent Palestinian state is established.
Jordan's response came swiftly through an official source who told Reuters that,
We would only support what Palestinians agree and decide on. Security in Gaza must be done through legitimate Palestinian institutions.
The Jordanian official was blunt about Arab participation.
Arabs will not be agreeing to Netanyahu's policies nor clean his mess.
Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong urged Israel not to proceed with the occupation plan, telling The Guardian,
Australia calls on Israel not to go down this path, which will only worsen the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Permanent forced displacement is a violation of international law. A two-state solution is the only pathway to secure an enduring peace. A Palestinian state and the State of Israel, living side by side in peace and security within internationally recognized borders.
The UK's ambassador to Israel, Simon Walters, delivered equally sharp criticism, telling Haaretz newspaper that occupying Gaza would be a huge mistake. Walters argued that military force alone cannot defeat Hamas, stating,
If you want to defeat Hamas, you cannot achieve that through military force. You need to use politics and diplomacy.
Meanwhile, displaced Palestinians in Gaza expressed despair to AP, with one resident, Maisa al-Haila, telling reporters,
There is nothing left to occupy. There is no Gaza left.
The humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate, with the Washington Post noting that more than 61,000 Palestinians have been killed since the war began, according to Gaza's health ministry. The ministry doesn't distinguish between combatants and civilians, but reports that most fatalities have been women and children.